You're listening to the Den Podcast.
Hey everyone, what's going on? I'm Rob. You're watching the Howling Hour, and this is another episode of The Den. So today I'm here with someone very special to me. This is my best friend Randy, who I've known for a long, long time. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I asked you on because not only are we really good friends, but we're also very scary movie and horror enthusiasts. So I brought you on, and we could talk about all the good stuff and just have a normal conversation that's not planned.
Normal.
Yeah, normal conversation. But before we go any further,
Okay.
I don't know, tell us about yourself. What your likes, dislikes, all that good stuff, what you're into, and if you want to delve into your love of scary movies and horror, and give us just a little taste of what is Randi.
Oh, we'll be here all day.
That's why I said a little taste.
Well, I'll just start with the scary stuff, I guess.
Let's go.
Because all the other stuff is scary in itself. So, no, actually, the whole scary thing didn't start till I was maybe in my teenage years.
Okay.
I did watch scary things with my older brother, who's 6 years older. And Friday nights, he used to watch Tales of the Crypt, Monsters, and Tales of the Dark Side, I believe it was called. And I was scared of them, but
you had to watch.
I would like to hang out in his room, and so he would like put his arm around me and like, it's not real, or tell me it was a mask or whatever. So I think I was probably like 8 years old.
Okay.
And then whatever else he would have on. I mean, Faces of Death sometimes. I know that was on a couple of times. And then it wasn't really until I was maybe 13 or 14. I think I saw The Craft.
Okay.
And I became very obsessed.
Great movie.
Yes, very obsessed. And I tried reading all the books, different witchcraft books that I had no idea what I was reading. It was kind of scary. But after that, I started getting into conversations with my brother, and I think just the bond between us got better, and different scary movies that we liked. And I just started finding my own interest in more haunting. He likes the more like bloody, gory stuff.
Okay.
I don't really like all that. I don't like when people get hurt. But yeah, so I got into the whole haunting thing.
Just speaking of, just because I was going to ask you later, but just you brought it up. Being as you watch the movies and stuff, what was your favorite scary movie? And if it's still your favorite scary movie, what would that, or is it something new now? But yeah.
So I don't know if it'd be more like thriller, not scary.
Okay.
Well, it's more dramatic, I guess, psychologically, is Misery.
Okay. Oh,
it's Kathy Bates.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I mean, you can't go wrong. Love her till this day still, and she's on so many other different types of movies, which makes you love her more. But Misery is never a wrong choice.
Okay.
The Shining, because it's a classic. But if I go into other things, I love Cabin Fever.
Okay.
It's not the most recent one. I think it's like in the middle. There's an old one, second one. I like the second one. That's one that I'll always be watching. And House on Haunted Hill.
Okay.
Is another
like the old one, or like the one with like
not the 59 one. I think it's 99.
Okay, yeah. I like that one.
Yes. So those are a couple of my favorites. I mean, there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many movies. I love the Insidious series. But yeah, those are my tops.
I remember me and Robin went to watch Insidious at the theater in Uptown Whittier, which is a very old, kind of dusty theater. So it made it a little extra creepy when that movie came out. We watched it there, and I was just like, it kind of fits. But yeah, Insidious is a great scary movie.
It's a good theater too.
I do like that theater. A lot of memories
That whole
there.
street is a little creepy.
Yeah.
It adds to it.
You know what?
Ambiance.
I think the actual street it's on, which I think is Greenleaf, is not too bad, but it's all those side streets where it's like, you're going to walk into an empty parking structure. No thanks.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so also, I know you do a lot of, you go to like a lot of haunted places.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Me and my cousins, actually. There's usually 5 of us. Let me think. Yeah, about 5 to 6 of us.
Don't get it wrong, or you're going to be in trouble.
Yes, I know. I don't want to name them either, because I'm like, what you mean? But yeah, there's a few of us. I want to say I started, gosh, I don't know, almost 10 years ago. It just started off as a bunch of cousins getting together at a random hotel, like hanging out, something fun to do, go to the beach. And then we got into a cousin of mine and I used to watch Ghost Hunters on speakerphone while it was on. And we would make sure we watched it at the exact same time. And so we started saying, like, let's go to these places, let's do this and that. And a lot of them were local, which was great. Because if they have their kids, they didn't want to leave their kids for too long, too far. So one of the first places we went to was the Glen Tavern in Santa Paula.
Okay.
That is my favorite haunted hotel. I think it is. I believe we experienced some things there. So I've stayed there twice. And let's see, we've gone to I knew my mind was going to go blank once I came up here. But in San Diego, my mind is blank.
It's all right.
But we stayed there, and it's supposed to be like a haunted cat in that one, or a room with the cat. Ghost cat.
Okay.
We went to, even though you can't stay there, the Winchester. In San Jose. My husband and I went to Estes Park to stay at the Stanley. I was 4 months pregnant with my first kid. So I couldn't do too much due to, I didn't want to invite too much.
Right.
But it was creepy in itself and really, really cool. Just the fact that it inspired Stephen King to make his movie. And they play that 24/7 there. On loop.
So I've been to the hotel, so I know what you're talking about. Okay, so let me ask you, you said, like, I know you mentioned places you've gone to, experiences. So I'm a scaredy cat. Like if there's something going on in some place, like I won't be like, oh, I'm not going to go in there. But like, I'm very hesitant. If I have to, I will. But I try to avoid that. Not you.
We run to them.
Yeah. You seem to be a little more braver than me. So give me some like experiences you've had, whether it's, whatever it is, if a feeling or you see something.
Well, I think I've been most interested since a kid. I don't know if I just watched way too many scary movies at a young age, but I believe the house that we used to watch all those scary movies in had some type of, whatever anybody wants to call it. There's so many different things these days, but entity, ghost, demon, whatever. So of course I was scared as a kid, but as a teenager and young adult, and someone also has that interest, you're like, let's go find it. And so of course my cousins and I had that. The Glen Tavern, for one, was first it flooded, a bunch of people passed away, died. Then it was a tuberculosis hospital, young children. So the room we stayed in, second floor, I want to say it was 218. I'll double check on that. But it was first a room where a brothel, the hotel was a brothel. And Calvin, I believe his name was, or we named him that. I really don't remember.
You guys are out there naming ghosts.
Yes, we got to give them names. Got to give them personalities.
When they visit us, we got to know who's who.
Yes, call out to someone. So the third floor was where they gambled and, and held the brothel. Well, the cowboy, Calvin, was up there playing cards. He cheated. They killed him and threw him in the closet in the second floor. That was his room. So that was one of the first stories that we had ever heard. Well, while we were there, we learned that when it was a hospital for tuberculosis, children stayed on the second floor. Kids are always creepy. Alive or not alive. They're always creepy. But it was supposed to be brother and sister that stayed in there. They passed away in that room. So one of the creepy parts, when you walk towards the room, there's already 2 cribs there for guests that stay there with kids.
Oh, man.
So we're already freaking out and being dramatic. So we go in and we check and make sure, the lamps are in a certain place because we want to see if anything moves. We're really big geeks. And so windows were closed, everything. Before we leave the room, we have one person walk out. Someone's the last person to make sure we know who shut the door, all the fun stuff. Set a recording. Someone always leaves their phone behind. God bless them. And we came back. We went to lunch. There's a very cute little town, if anyone wants to visit it. And we came back from lunch. and our window was wide open. And the last person who walked out was me. And I know for a fact it was not open.
Interesting.
So, of course, we're like, did you open it, Kim? What are you doing with this, and that? No, I didn't do it. So, apparently nobody opened the bathroom window. And it's a really cool bathroom. It still has the pool flush.
Oh, okay.
One of those old. So, everything's very creepy and original. That was the first thing. The next morning, we go to breakfast. And at the time, and still, I wear Chucks. So Chucks, they're pretty thin. They don't really come untied. And my shoes came untied 3 times. One in the room and once at breakfast. And I'm just sitting there. So the owner comes by, and for forgetting her name too, greatest woman, but also a medium.
Okay.
And she comes by and she's like, so, what room are you in? And we tell her, and she's like, any tricks played on you guys lately? And so her living quarters are right below that room.
Okay.
So she probably heard, okay, so you walk in, it's 2 queen beds and then a lamp in the middle. My cousins and I moved the lamp into the closet and put our beds together.
Okay.
So it's like 5 of us sleeping in a row. And 2 of us were holding hands. I won't say which 2 of us because we were scared. But we were like, if that lamp goes on in that closet, like, so we love it, but we're scared of it. But anyhow, we told her about the window, and she kind of, no disbelief at all from her. Yeah, she totally normal. And so those were the 2 main things. The last night we were there, all of our bags were against one wall, and me and my cousin, who were holding hands, we were like falling asleep, and you just hear, I had keychains on the edge of my bag.
Okay.
On the zipper.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's like chains. And it just, you could hear it sliding across the floor. The sound of sliding across the floor.
Oh, wow.
And you hear kids running up and down the hallway. One of my other cousins opened the door, and I was like, don't invite them in. And like, I made her slam the door. So it's like, you're scary, but it's very fun when you're with 5 people.
Oh, yeah.
If I was by myself, I probably wouldn't have handled it so well.
I always found, like, because I would watch, like, Ghost Hunters and stuff like that. And for me, it is interesting as far as, like, because it is unknown. Like, we don't, like, there's no, like, there's people, and then they bring them on the show where like, oh no, logically it could be this, it could be, these pipes and stuff like that. But also there is that element of like, well, it could be like a ghost or demon or entity, some kind of spirit or something, doing this. So it's like the unknown. But then also for me, like, wasn't so much like the scary stuff. It was like the stuff that they were like, oh, they brought this camera and they were using these recording devices and this is how they're pulling sound and trying to mix it and pull out different things. So for me, it was like not so much the scary stuff that would interest me, but it was like the technology behind it to capture that. But yeah, you guys are a little too extreme for me.
Yes, we are. And we do try to debunk it. Like, that was my bracelet rattling, or we don't. But yeah, we definitely do debunk it. That was the main place that I've ever experienced anything that real. It was very, very real. But nothing scary. I feel like I could feel when things are a little scary or a little threatening, and it was comfortable. It was fun.
Like you're saying, as far as like what was happening, it was nothing that where anything was like specifically on you. It was just more like things were happening around you. So I feel like that's a little more, at least for me, I would be like, okay, that's more doable as long as something's not like dragging me across the floor, like paranormal activity status.
True, yes. If anything tried to touch me that I couldn't see, I don't think I'd be so calm about it. However, at the Stanley.
Oh no.
So my husband's not as into this.
Okay.
He humors me, we'll say. But I was like, take as many pictures as you can. We need to catch something. So we went on the ghost tour, all that stuff. Well, I just said, as we're walking hallways, just take random pictures. He did. I loved it.
I could picture him just taking random. He'd be very good at taking random pictures too.
Yes, because they are very random. I'm never ready for them. And so he was taking like selfie style, but he wasn't in it. I was in it. And I was, like I said, I was 4 months pregnant. And so I had like my belly and it was freezing. So I had like a big raincoat on.
It was pretty cold up there.
Yes. And so I have a picture, and maybe I could send it at some point. but there's a, we can't tell if it was a cross or a bird. I call my daughter Bird, which is really funny, or not. But there's an imprint on my shirt, and pregnant women know you wear leggings, so like I didn't have no belt buckle or anything like that. So yeah, that was probably the weirdest thing that showed up in a photo there after the ghost tour.
So in the picture, what did you think it was? Or what did it look like?
First, initially I freaked out. Because I was like, that's my baby, what's going on? But I saw a cross.
Okay.
My husband saw like, the little bird, it's like the Christian bird. I don't know.
Like the dove? Like the dove? Okay, yeah. With like the dove. Olive leaf or olive branch.
Exactly.
Whatever. Okay.
So it has kind of that resemblance.
Okay.
So to me, I found it something good, especially if he kind of saw something.
Yeah.
And it was a bird. Yay.
Well, I mean, crossing a dove, you can't go bad there.
So it wasn't like the devil's face or anything. And she's so sweet. So yeah, it turned out good. But that was the weirdest thing. And then the next day we went to the Broadmoor, which is also supposedly haunted. Anything
happened there?
No.
Okay.
Great giant bathrooms though. Okay. They're beautiful.
Nice. Okay, let's was there anything else you wanted to add as far as like any other experiences you had or any other places you stayed?
The house I grew up in until I was 8.
Okay. You've told me about this house. You've told me several stories. Let's hear one you're comfortable talking about.
Oh gosh. Well, I love them all now, but when I was living there, no. Let's see. So you know how like when carpet is old, it kind of crackles. It's like there's brand new soft.
Yeah.
And as it gets old, well, this was 80s, 90s, and the house, is kind of old. So I slept in my parents' room a lot, whether it was on the floor or in their bed. Like I was terrified all the time. And while you're sleeping there, you could hear the crackling of the carpet. So as you first walk in our house, it was a hallway to my parents' room. It seems so huge now. It probably wasn't that big, the hallway.
When you're little.
I was little, exactly. But it seemed like the longest hallway. And so you walk in, make a right. That's my parents' room, and they had 2 little steps.
Okay.
And then a few more steps, and you're at their bed. So you could hear the few steps. And my mom has also said, you feel the edge of the bed just sit, like if someone sat at the edge of the bed.
That's creepy.
Yes, and I'd be like sweating and under the covers, and my dad would get mad because I would scooch as close as I possibly can to him. Oh man, but I was too old to be sleeping in there, and I did not care.
Were you sleeping in there because of everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so that was one thing, but the main thing, once you pass that hallway, we walked into a really big like front living room, the living room no one sits in type of thing.
Oh yeah.
And there was a couple couches in there, really big space in between, and then it was the kitchen.
Okay.
Off to the very right was a den. So, trying to build a picture here. I had gotten in trouble, of course, and I got sent to my room, and I was watching TV in my room, and I heard someone walk in the door, which is normal. My brother was out with his friends or something, but you heard someone just run completely through that huge living room. Like, it was, I ran, actually, I'm lying. I was in the room, heard someone walk in, so I walked to the den.
Okay.
And kind of like was like, am I still in trouble type of thing. And I sat on the den steps. Then you heard the running through the living room and the door slam. Well, I ran and jumped on my mom, and I was like, someone's in the house. Like, I freaked out. My dad heard the door slam. So he ran to the front door, but it was still locked from the inside.
Interesting.
Yes, and that was a whole family affair. So
everyone got to share in that.
Everyone got to share it. I don't remember if my brother was home or not. But I either he was in his room or not home. But the fact is, someone went out that door and it was locked. Through my room, you could see all the way down through the kitchen and into, it was like a fake window, which led to a real window in the den. And another den. And if you look, there was always a woman's face. Like, I don't know if it was just my fear, just all.
Like your mind?
Yes.
Okay.
But to me, it always was. And so, yeah, those were I mean, I'm sure there's other stories, but those were the
ones that
the
stuck
ones
out.
that always stick out. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you've. I mean, I'm obviously we've known each other for years, so you've talked about this house and you've told me a
Yes.
few stories. So, but yeah, I would. How long did you guys stay there for?
I was 6 months old when we moved into there,
Okay.
and then I was either 9 or almost 9 when we
Oh,
moved
okay.
out.
So, and was from. I mean, from the time you guys were there. Obviously, you're young. You probably don't have really much memory of it. But when you got older, to where you could remember things, like how long were things happening there?
I was probably 7.
Okay.
I could say the very first incident was my mom would leave for work and my grandma would come take care of me and take me
Okay.
to school in the morning. And I would wait for her in the kitchen, like they would switch at the exact same time.
Okay.
So when I would wait for my grandma in the living room, there was a shadow that walked behind one couch to our kitchen, just back and forth. And I saw it every single morning, same as 7:08 a.m. And I know that because my grandma and I left at 10 to school. And I would see it every morning. And so one day I told my mom, I see something in the house. She asked me to draw a picture. And I remember I had a pink and a yellow highlighter. And I basically drew nothing. It was just like a shadow.
Yeah.
And I said, but it walks from here to here every day we had a microwave there. And she was like, okay. Well, I didn't know my mom was seeing it too.
Oh,
so
okay.
she believed me, thank God. And I guess she told my dad, but no one wanted to tell each other because nobody wanted to scare each other.
Okay.
And I don't know if my brother had his own experiences, maybe, possibly. I believe he did too. But he loved that house. Till this day, I believe he still loves that house. So he never wanted to move. I made it happen.
Seems about right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about your haunted experiences with your houses and you going places with your cousin. Let's lighten the mood a little bit.
Because Robert's scared.
Yeah, I'm a little scared. This is getting too much for me, especially because I saw that cup move by accident. I'm just playing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I go to all these horror events and haunts and conventions. We actually went to a convention. Was it last year?
Monsterpalooza.
It was Monsterpalooza.
Yeah.
So it was last June, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I know we went to something else too. But what do you think of you haven't gone, I think you haven't gone to, I think the last time we went to something together was Scary Farm, which was I think in 22. Was it 22?
No, we just went for your birthday.
Not this year.
Not this year,
last year. Yeah, so
Was that
22.
20? Yeah, 22.
Okay, so what? She's losing it.
Yeah.
So what's your what do you? Because you don't go as much. So when you go, what do you think of all this stuff? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you going just because I forced you to go and I threaten you?
Yes. No. No, I really like going to those things. I'm a huge fan of Halloween. I love Halloween.
You also, and I didn't know if you wanted to bring this up, but you are pregnant.
I am. Yes.
You are. So you also did kind of ruin our year this year.
I did, yes.
Of us going again with the whole pregnancy thing. Because I was super excited. I was like, man, me and Randy are going to go to this. Me and Randy are going to go to that. We're going to go here. We're going to Six Flags. And then you're like, hey, Rob, I'm going to have a baby.
Morning sickness is an all-day thing.
Yeah, so I was
horrible.
like, oh man, there goes the next couple years. Because, you obviously have to raise the kid. And you already have another one. So.
I do. We'll let her do it.
Yeah, we'll just train her to raise this one, and then
She'll
you're
do
good
good.
to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
So we've gone a few times, and I don't know, what'd you think of it? How was your experience?
Yeah, I love them because I love Halloween. So anything that has to do with Halloween, I love to be a part of it.
Okay.
I enjoy Knott's Berry Farm very much. I liked Six Flags, but this was also after the whole pandemic, and they had to have certain standards. And
Right.
This, are they called scare people?
They're scary. Well, I call them.
Caricatures.
I call them characters.
Characters. Okay.
But they are also called scare actors. I don't really think. I think cosplayers is more like the conventions we go to. Those are more like cosplayers. But
Okay.
I think the common terminology is either.
Gotta give them all respect.
Yeah.
They do such a great
Yes,
job.
they do. So I would say scare actors.
Okay, scare actors. It was very fun. One, I mean, going as just a normal person, you don't get to meet these people.
Okay.
They're always in character, but luckily going with you and your friends, all these cameras, you get to actually talk to these scare actors, and it's actually a lot of work. It's not just dressing up and being scary. I think I love that part of it because they're very cool people, and just talking to them like, oh my God, you do this every night, or however often they work.
Yeah.
But after following them on Instagram, you see that it's not just Six Flags. It's not just Knott's Berry Farm. They're doing so many other different things at the same time.
Yeah.
And just me as a mom with kids in the same spot is hard.
Yeah.
I could imagine just working different spots. I mean, the makeup. I think the best part of it, I loved meeting the makeup artists.
Okay.
I met, I believe, 2 of them.
Yeah. Well, we went to Six Flags.
Six Flags. Yeah. So for me personally, those were the fun parts.
Okay.
Kind of seeing behind the scenes made it even more special. But in the park itself, it's just a good time. It's just like a Halloween not on Halloween.
Yeah.
Like it's Halloween for a whole month or however long it goes, and I wish I could go to more.
Yeah, but you're really.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we always have a good time going to, whether it's conventions or places together. So yeah, like probably one of my most memorable times going. And then too, like I always got to thank my buddy Scott, who's always hooking me up to go to these things.
Yes.
Like when we went to Six Flags, it was probably like one of the funnest times I had going. And it was just like, cause I mean, I love going with Robin, but Robin's there because she's like, I'll go support you.
Yeah. She has to.
Yeah, you're making me be here, and I love you, so I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
But I mean, Robin will tell you this. It's first off the bat. She's like, well, does Randy want to go? If Randy wants to go, then you take her. Yes. But yeah, so you're always first dibs when it comes to the haunt stuff. But yeah, I know it's so much fun, especially going, your friends and getting to. For me, I was like more worried because when I go, it is fun, but essentially it is also I'm kind of working. Mm-hmm. So I was always, I took you the few times, I was just like, well, I don't want you to be like bored because I'm working. I got this shot, but hey, you made it so much more fun to go. And
I make friends in the bathroom line. I don't need any.
Yeah, for sure. You're just
I go around by myself.
Would you visit the bathroom quite often?
I do.
Because your baby bladder.
That. Yeah, even when I'm not pregnant. I'm just like, I'll be right back.
I think it was like after every, I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with your bladder. You were scared and you had to go to the bathroom right after.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't those White Claws or anything at the beginning.
No, not at all. It was you were afraid and you had to use the bathroom. Okay, so, I mean, obviously, we're on the shelf for a little bit. We're on the shelf for a little bit. Do you plan to make a return at some point to Scary Farm? Or we've even gone to Halloween Horror Nights together. You, me, your husband, my wife, and I think my little cousins went too. We all went. That was pretty fun too. Is there in the future? I'm not saying this year because obviously you're gonna be busy.
Yes.
Is there a plan to make a return, or do you want to do any of those things?
Absolutely. My 5-year-old loves Halloween.
Okay.
I think just as much as I do.
Okay.
She hasn't obviously been exposed to as many of the scary things, more of the fun things on YouTube Kids. But yeah, when she is definitely at an age where I'm not gonna give her bad nightmares.
Okay.
We will make some trips.
Here's a good question. I can't say I have a good question, but here's a question for you. Because this is something that I feel like me and Robin, we don't have kids, but we have our nieces and nephews. And this was something that I guess, pondered on or was trying to figure out when's a good time, if they're into that, a good time to introduce them to certain things. Because you mentioned like, YouTube Kids and they have like kind of spooky stuff for the kids. There are some events out there that I feel, obviously, like not Scary Farm's not for a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old even. But there are some events out there that kind of cater to the smaller crowd. A little scary, but not too scary. When do you think, like for your daughter, would be a good age to be like, okay, well, do you want to go to this, spooky corn maze?
Yeah. Well, I did take her to Legoland during October, so it was decorated for Halloween. I believe we went to Castle Park, and it still had a few. Was that near Halloween, or was it
I'm
just?
trying to think. I don't know if no.
Maybe it wasn't.
I don't think when we went. I don't think it was near Halloween. I think there were decorations up, but I think it was like their Mardi Gras event.
Okay, then okay, we'll skip that. But no, I did take her to Legoland, my husband and I, and she loved. I mean, because it's cute Lego ghosts or Frankenstein. She's a fan of Frankenstein. But I think she's always seen Halloween around. I mean, there's some little knickknacks I have in my house that are just always there.
Right.
I had a little haunted house there for like 3 years. It's just whatever's normal to her, and I think so. I keep it as a normal thing. Like, we're gonna celebrate Halloween, or she'll see me doing my makeup because I just like to take fun pictures.
Right.
I was Annabelle some random day of the week, and she was like, what are you doing? She already knows I'm kind of crazy. And I was like, hey, you can't look at this makeup. It'll be scary. It's from a movie I'm copying. So she knows movies are makeup. She knows they're masks, that somebody under there is a real person. But visually, I don't want that to affect her right now because they're kids. It's going to be real to them in some way. But I think my brother used to do that too. He was very interested in. He would tell me how Freddy Krueger's mask was made.
Okay.
Even on regular movies, like when a girl would be putting on makeup, he would say, "Oh, this is the blush." I think it was on Clueless.
Okay.
And she gets really red at some point, and he's like, "Oh, they just brush it off. They're putting it on and brush it off." However he explained it. So he was very behind the scenes.
Okay.
So that's why I'm with her. Like, "Oh, it's just makeup," or "That's not real blood. It's like they use." I say fake blood, but I've let her know like some movies it's pig's blood, like something that's probably worse. Now that I say it out loud, but she seems to understand.
Yeah, I know. I totally get you.
But we're very open with her.
No, yeah, and you are.
So, but yeah, she knows it's fake. No one's hurt. No one really got hurt. But in one of her cartoons on YouTube, I believe it is, and it's Frankenstein. So he has the little. It's a little kid that has little stitches.
Yeah.
So she asked what that was, and I was like, "Oh, well, if you see a real person like that, it's makeup, or they put eyeliner or something." So honestly, it's up to the parent.
Okay.
Parents have a rule: you don't tell someone else how to parent.
That is true.
So
that's why we don't have kids, so we can tell everyone else how to.
Exactly. You judge them on the side. You judge them behind your own closed doors. Yes.
No, I agree. Like, to each every parent knows their own kid, and so I'm sure when you feel your daughter's ready, because you've expressed she's shared an interest in it, and obviously I don't think that's going to go away because it never does.
Never will.
So yeah, and then she could come with Uncle Rob, and then we can go do those things. But no, like you will gauge, like maybe when she hits like 8, you don't feel like she's like kind of going away, so you don't want to. So I get that, totally get it. But I mean, you probably think she's going to be more into it.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't have a doubt in my mind. I mean, my husband doesn't really like that stuff, so it's kind of like, well, Mom likes that, go with her type of thing. But between my brother and I, our scary T-shirts, I think tell enough story that that's just
that's how anytime I go over, I'm always like, is this T-shirt okay? Because I don't want to scare her. And
she asks a lot of questions. She'll look at it. My brother just bought me for Christmas The Bride of Frankenstein.
I saw that.
And it was the perfect size, too, for what I am right now. So I got to wear it. And she was, "Mom, who is that?" And I was like, "That's Frankenstein's wife." And she was like, "Oh, okay." So it's natural. It's a thing in our house.
But yeah, no, so like with me and Robin, because our nephew, ever since he was little, has always been like, "Oh, Nino this, and I like this scary thing, and Michael Myers." And since he was little, I think, I mean, not little, probably like 6, maybe like 6 to 5. He was like, and I don't know where he saw the stuff because I didn't show. I was very like, "Oh, I can't show him this," so I'm pretty sure his dad or his mom maybe glimpses of it or whatever. But so I think he's 10 or 11 now. So now but he's gone with us to Castle Dark a few years. But we were always of that mind, like, well, we don't know. We're not the parent. So we can't decide, but as an uncle, I have to be like, well, am I going to take him to something that's going to traumatize him, even though if his parents say yes,
Right.
like so. But yeah, no, I think when we took him when he was 9, and he seemed pretty good. He seemed fine. He was there was one maze we went through, and I knew it scared him, but he kept on like a. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
But I knew it scared him. But then I asked him. I said, "Hey, do you want to go through it again?" And he was just like, "No, no." He's like, "One time's okay." So we're like, "Okay, we're good." But he was fine, and he was a trooper. But I remember, I forgot how old he was. We went out to Tom's Farms. Have you ever been there?
No, I don't think so.
So I'm not sure. It's like near like the 215. If you're familiar with California, it's near like the 215 and the 15 out, kind of going like Moreno Valley way.
Okay, then no.
Yeah. So there's this place.
10-mile radius.
I only go 10 miles. So we went out there. They were doing like a little scary maze, but they had the option, like they gave the kids a lantern, and the characters didn't scare them, or you can close the lantern and you would just go. So and
Cool.
I posted the video. This is years ago. I posted the video on my Instagram, but my YouTube. But so we started off because he was little. I think he was probably like maybe 5 or 6. So we're going through the maze, and he has the lantern on. And this characters, like, they're waving, and they have their thunder jugs where they shake them and all this stuff,
Yeah.
So they're just waving, they're not doing anything, and then so Robin comes over and she's like, do you want to keep going like this? Like, they're being nice, or do you want to be scared? And then so he's like, no, like, I want to be scared. So then she's like, okay. So then we close the lantern. So then one person comes up, one of the characters comes up to us, and like, because they get word like, oh, a lantern's coming through,
Okay.
so they tone it down.
Yeah.
So then they see us close the lanterns, and one of them comes over to us and is like, are you guys, like, do you know what you guys are doing? Like, are you guys like, no, like, we want to be scared. He's like, yeah, but like we're gonna go hard. Like, and we're like, no, like Robin, not me. Robin is like, no, yeah. So we're like, okay. So then the lanterns close, and then the next turn we make, like, they're just full on, like, all over us, and I'm recording him, so he's just like, at first it takes him a second, he's just like, but then he's like smiling, and then there was one character who like got in his face, he was like, "Arr!" Like right in his face, and he just was like, "Arr!" Like right back at him, so he ended up liking it, and then by the time we got to, the only thing that like I scared him was, there was a person with a chainsaw hiding like in the corner. So this was the funniest thing. So he's walking through a door. The chainsaw person like pulls the chainsaw, and then you just see him gone. Like he just runs, and then we come out, and then he's like just standing there like, that was scary, and we're just like, it was awesome.
Nice.
It was awesome time.
That's
awesome
fun.
time.
Yeah. Vicky, she'll tell us, I don't want to watch this movie. She doesn't like violence, so I know she won't be into those movies.
Yeah.
When they're fighting too hard, she'll be like, no thanks. Someone's scaring her, I very much doubt she won't be into that.
Uh-huh.
But I think she's gonna, like I said, I don't like the bloody movies. I like the haunting movies, kind of eerie. I think she's gonna be more into that. But right now it's cartoons that dance.
You know what? As far as, well, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
that little girls
I guess.
like that stuff.
No.
I guess, cartoons and dance in a bloody ballerina uniform.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I mean, like for me, as far as movies, I don't know if I will watch bloody and violent and gory, and there's some stuff that just rubs me the wrong way, where I get an ick if I watch it. And I'm not, like, no judgment at all to anyone who watches those movies. It's just for me, like, I do kind of prefer, like, I think I told you, I was like, oh, I watched the Blair Witch Project the other day. And I was just like, that's just, like, stuff like that. It's more like, oh, it's like found footage and even like Paranormal Activity, like just these little, like, smaller, like, oh, this is what's going on. But yeah, I don't know if I'm into like the
I think,
although recently, like, the Scream movies have become a little more bloody.
oh, they went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did enjoy that because we kind of watched them evolve. And I think because we've been there from the beginning, and watched it, we're like, okay, we have gotten to that point.
We're slicing people in half now.
So, so I actually like that movie. I think, which one is it? I want to say the second or third one is my most favorite.
The Scream?
Yes. The girl
who dies? Tell me who dies and I'll tell you.
She's sitting in the chair and she has to give all the scary movie titles. Like he's.
Oh, that's I think it's 4. It's
Is it 4?
It's 4 because it's like
Okay.
it's like no. I think I'm pretty sure someone is sitting in the chair and she's like on the phone and she just
Yes.
like starts like
you're
going,
right.
going, like giving all these like.
I liked that one.
That was a good one. That was
the first one in that one.
You know what? The only reason I remember that is because that's Hayden Panettiere.
I was gonna say it's her. Yes, I thought it was Haley, but yes, I love her.
Panettiere, so do I.
I love her as an actress.
Yeah, I love her as a person. Don't tell Robin.
And the bloodiest movie I would say I like is the first Saw.
Okay.
And the first Hostel.
You know what? The first Saw is great. I watched Hostel, and that's just like, oh, there's certain things that just like I'm like, oh, no,
Yeah,
no. I mean, I watched it, but okay, you're not fazed by that stuff, okay?
I don't know. I am, but I'm not. But apparently, Saw and Hostel. There you go.
There you go. No, I think Saw is a really good. It's like gory, bloody, and but it's also, I think there's the psychological element to it. There's like the mystery, like who did what. I think Hostel is just more that's
straightforward.
Yeah, that's just gore. Yeah, there's torturing you for just because.
Yes. Just for no reason.
Yeah.
And I think, actually, fun fact, I had never seen the very first Jason or Friday the 13th.
Oh, okay.
Never. My brother knows front to back Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. So I know I had watched Nightmare on Elm Street, but I watched 3 in a row. I think it was 3 nights in a row. I texted my brother, I'm going to watch them. He was like,
was this
proud
recently?
of you, kid. It was just this past
okay.
Halloween season.
Okay.
So, yeah, I finally watched the very first one. I think I watched other ones because I didn't realize they'd never showed Jason in those.
In the first one,
first ones.
Yeah.
And the ones that I was watching, because, as you know, I started an annual scary movie night. So we would put Friday the 13th, but he was in them. I didn't realize I was just picking other ones.
Yeah.
So that was a very fun, exciting thing, too.
I remember... I think there was a more recent, Friday the 13th that came out in theaters, but they showed the like original. It was like a double feature, so they showed the original one where it's like the mask and everything. That's all that you just see the POV. They played that before, super cheesy. I mean, it's total camp and everything, but it was just cool to see it like on the big screen. And then we got the more recent one that came out at that time, which wasn't that great, but it was still. But it's very fun. But yeah, you just get to see. It was cool to see, because I watched the movies. It was cool to see that back on like a theater size screen, and for the most part, we were all just laughing at all the kills.
Exactly.
It's very dorky, very like cheesy. Yeah. So but it was good times. Good times. I went with my cousin Andy. Yeah, we had gone to that.
I feel like that's how our haunting hotel experiences started. We started going to watch one scary movie a month. We would go eat and go watch a scary movie. And then finally we're like, okay, we're going to go, one of us, let's go. It started because my dad went to a wedding at the Glen Tavern Hotel. Okay. And he and his wife were like, this hotel's haunted. You would love it. Don't ever stay here type of thing. I text in the cousin chat, like, do you guys want to stay here? I think it was in February. We stood there the first time. Everyone was in. No one had as many kids, and we were gone. And my dad now knows we are crazy. Well, he knew I was.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure your dad knew you were crazy a long time ago.
Now I have others.
There you go. You're forming your cult, if you will. Your cousin cult. Mm-hmm.
Before it was a rumor. Cheers, guys.
Yeah. It's a long running joke. Oh man. Well, I mean, I feel like we've covered a lot. I don't know, is there anything you want to add or say, or do you want to yell at me? Here's your chance to yell at me in front of everyone.
I think
I'm gonna let you take over.
Nothing I can think
Nothing
of.
to think of. Okay.
It's easier when I'm asked the questions. I'm an
true.
open book. I can just
That is true.
answer them.
That is true. Well, I mean, we've covered a lot. You have a lot of personal haunt experiences, and then I feel like aside from like the cool stuff like going to these places, you get to spend time with your cousins.
Yes.
And that's fun. I've met a lot of your cousins. They're really cool people. And your brother. I gotta say, I'm gonna say right now, your brother's probably. I wish he was my brother.
You should have him here one of
Yeah, I
these
will.
days.
I will for sure.
I should have brought him today.
I'm gonna drag him over here because he is.
Yes.
You know what? Now that we mention it, like when there is like a scary movie fact or something, your brother pretty much is like the go-to. Like he knows.
Yes.
Everything. Oh well, no, actually, it wasn't corn syrup. It was starch in it.
Right, exactly.
Like so, your brother's a super cool guy. Period. And he likes horror movies. And I get it. I know I get like. It's funny because I get a random text from him once in a while. Like he'll ask me about something, like whatever, but then I just get like this random text because we don't text often.
Right.
And I'll just get like, "Hey Rob, is this you?" I'm like, "Hey Steve, is this you?" And he'll be like, "All right, cool." And then they'll be like, "All right." And then the next time we talk to each other, it'll be something. Oh, what about this or whatever the case may be. But yeah, your brother's super cool. But with all that. I want to say thanks for being on the show, Rand.
Thanks for having me.
It's always we actually. Oh, there's my clock saying to hurry it up. I mean, we were planning this for a while, but I'm horrible.
When you have kids, they're sick every 3
Yeah,
days.
yeah, pretty much. I'm not blaming you
I
or your
am.
beautiful child over there. Yeah, no, we've been planning this for a while, and glad we got to do it. Obviously, I know a lot of the stuff, but it's just cool to sit down and have a conversation with you about it. And thanks for being on the show, and really appreciate it. Is there like, I know you're not like a social media influencer or anything like that. I mean, you have your Instagram and stuff like that. Is there any place you like if people are trying to find you? Because when you're not busy, you are doing pretty cool stuff with like your workout stuff and your haunt stuff. So if there's anything you want to share with anyone, like where they could find you or.
Well, since I'm not giving workout tips right now.
She could though. You're still working out. You're still working out.
I just want salt and chocolate all the time.
Hey, don't we all?
Let's see. No, for all of my Halloween fun stuff, costumes, I dress up randomly on a Tuesday. I would be at on Instagram at Rannabelle.
Okay.
So it's Annabelle with an R.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
And you can find me on Robert's Instagram
Yeah,
too.
she's done a lot of my stuff. So,
Yeah.
But anyways, again, thank you so much, Randy, for being on.
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have not subscribed to the Howling Hour, please subscribe. It helps me grow and do more stuff like this and go more places and just kind of get my social media reach out there. So really appreciate it. With saying all that, remember, run with the pack.